up? This is Gay, aka Daniel. I'm gonna be doing some Q&A stuff here with you guys. I'm stoked for the opportunity to do something fun like this, and I'm feeling like a little tiny bit of a star in my own little tiny little orbit. So, okay, well here goes. Jerry Gurney's Cream favorite mall grab song. So this is the only question that I actually looked at yesterday. I told myself I couldn't look at any other ones, otherwise I would have spent all night spinning on this. So I'm already blowing it. I don't listen to mall grab. So I said my interests are house music, but I don't know. I gave mall grab, and like I gave Ross from Friends and a couple other house acts that are kind of in that same, they're kind of grouped together. I gave them a shot, and I don't know why I didn't like it. It's one of those things I was thinking, like, you know, the Supreme Court said it's hard to define porn, but you'll know it when you see it. And I thought, like, that's how I define the house music that I like. Like, it's a little hard to say exactly what it's going to be, but I'll know it when I hear it. Yeah. What's the funniest thing you've ever said? And this was the other one I thought about. So it's not something I said, but it's a noise that came out of my mouth that created a situation that I thought was pretty funny. So I was home for Christmas, and I was hanging out with my family. My nephews were really young, and my nephew Jake had been taking flute lessons. So everyone's like, Jake, come and play the flute for us. And so he comes in and like unpacks and puts his flute together and starts playing like some Christmas song, like What Child Is This or something. And he got through the first like little lick of it, and then I joined. Like, I thought it'd be funny to like do like a drum backup. So I was like, you know, he got to the end of the thing, and I was like with my mouth, and he started laughing, and everyone got all upset and was like, Uncle Daniel, you're ruining Jacob's concert for us. And he was laughing, and then everyone got so upset, and he started crying and like ran out of the room, and everyone's like, Daniel, you ruined it. Jake was playing us something pretty. So I had to go in there and apologize and tell Jake that I was sorry for ruining his song. He never played anything else for us, and now he's like a total mess, and I've always wondered if that's why. Like if that was the beginning of the end for my nephew Jake. I love you, Jake. You're not going to be seeing this, but Monkey McPot, tell us about your performance at the Oscars.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Gay Men's Chorus of Los Angeles.
We saw your boobs, 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 we saw your boobs. We saw your boobs.
So I joined the Gay Men's Chorus here in LA for a few years because I just wanted to like get music back in my life somehow, and I guess I thought that would do it. So I was singing with the Gay Men's Chorus, and one night I get this call from the director, and he's like, "Hey, actually, he left me a message, and it's like, call me back right away. I've got like a big deal to ask you about." So I called him back, and he's like, "Do you want to be on the Oscars?" And I was like, "Well, what the fuck? Sure, I'll be on the Oscars." And he goes, "Okay, I don't know if it's happening yet, but I'll let you know." And he's like, click. And then, a few days later, it turns out Seth MacFarlane wanted to do this like routine on the Oscars, and he wanted to have the Gay Men's Chorus of Los Angeles. What was funny is he put these like stipulations on it, like nobody above the age of 45 could audition, and I think that was, you had to be gay, obviously, but I think that was kind of it. But boy, it caused a ruckus in that chorus, man, because that chorus is all like grandpas, and these guys have been in the chorus forever. You know, there's a lot of gay young guys in there as well, but it upset everybody in the chorus. I've never watched the Oscars, so I didn't really give a shit, and I just thought it would be kind of fun. Anyway, we recorded at in the basement of Tower Records with Seth, and then I was on the Oscars. But it's kind of one of those things where like if you blink, you'll miss it. A weird side story about that is some people on Slap like did some detective work. I had posted my picture in there, At one point, there was like a thread, like post a picture of yourself. I had posted my picture, and then like I found this thread. I haven't seen it in forever, and I can't even find it. It might be gone. I don't know. But there was a thread, and like someone had done some detective work, like oh, gay is on the Oscars, and then like they had like a screen cap, and like my face is circled, and it's like, is this him? And then someone's like, it's got to be him, and I was just like, what the fuck, man? These guys are super sleuth. It was a trip, and I don't know. I found it hilarious. Tell us about your awkward encounter with BA. Well, it was awkward because I found out I'm a really awkward person in real life, and he was at this thing. It was maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. He was at this like leather event thing out here at the Tom of Finland house, and I went and I took my VHS copy of Modus Operandi because it's one of my favorite videos ever, and I thought I'll ask him to sign it. He was coming down with his husband, and he saw me, and I guess he thought he recognized me, so he came right up to me, and he's like, I mean, he didn't come right up to me, but basically when he got to me, he's like, hey man, how have you been doing? What you been up to? And I was just like, hi, you know, and I just totally, like, I got so nervous, and I was there with my ex-boyfriend who knew that I was a big BA fan, and I just was like speechless, and I was like, I'm good, how are you? You know, and I think probably right around then he started to realize that he didn't know who I was. He just maybe had thought he recognized me because I'm kind of I've got a run of the mill look that you could probably find one of me in every city in the nation. And it was horrible, man. And then like as soon as he realized he didn't know me, he got really kind of weird and like distant. And I was like, I brought Modus Operandi. Would you sign it for me, please? And he's like, yeah, I'll do that later. And it was awful, man. I probably turned bright red, and I was like, well, I guess I'm never going to get a chance to hook up with BA, married or not. So I blew it. BA, if you somehow are watching this, which I would highly doubt you ever would be, I'm sorry. Please share your mustache care regimen and routine with us. I'm facial hairstyle illiterate. Hey, this sounds familiar, but trying to grow my mustache out, and you're my mustache person. Man, I just don't cut my mustache. It's like, and then I have my barber cut it a little bit. Tom K, I followed your advice, went and picked up some frizzies, and then I looked at it, and it's like, it says straight fixation, like right there on the bottle. And I was just like, damn, Tom K, that's some homophobic shit, man. You played a joke on me, bastard. So anyway, I picked up some frizzies, and it still didn't help, and I don't have the guts to try blow drying and curling my hair yet, So my mustache care regimen is I just try to keep that shit trimmed. When it gets too long to where I can't eat pizza or burrito, I cut it back. What would you rate my current mustache from a scale of Michael Cera to Sam Elliott? You're like right there in the middle, like Sam Sarah. This one is for Mike. Hey, Mike! Get your ass in here! I'm just kidding. Honey? Would you answer a question?
Tell us something we might not know about Daniel, and or what is your favorite thing about him? Well, what you might not know about Daniel is he really is the secret love child of Cher and Geraldo Rivera. My favorite thing about Daniel is everything. He's a love of my life.
Oh, honey. Look, he's going to start crying. Come here. This is a shout out to my sister, Chaz Bono. What up, girl? No, I'm kidding. Feed me Seymour. Favorite thread on Slap? Eesh, I don't think I have a favorite one. It changes on the daily. That's what I love so much about Slap. Anything where people are throwing out wild accusations and shit, you know, is always fun. I love seeing dirt. I remember one time I started this stupid thread, and I was basically just like scolding Slap because there hadn't been any good dirt for a while. So, you know, I'm gay. I love drama. Drama and gossip, so anything that's got some like juicy shit in it, I love it. Favorite Photoshop? Oh my god, the Dill Photoshops are fucking hilarious with that mannequin. The Ave Photoshops are just hilarious. There's a lot of good ones. There's some genius stuff. I used to work in graphic design, and sometimes I'm really bummed that I don't have access to Photoshop right now. You know, and I'm too lazy to like use something free like GIMP or whatever. But you guys do some good work on there. Have you gotten any recent clips of you skating? So I went on a trip with my old Albuquerque buddies last summer, and I got a few clips. I got a board slide on a flat bar. I think I slid for like 2 inches. I got a 50-50 on a little ledge. I think I 50-50'd for maybe 3 inches. And then I got a frontside shove it on a pyramid, and that was, oh my God, I was so stoked on that. Yeah, the best clip that I got by far is I took a trip to Russia and last year, and really I feel like I knocked this one out of the park. So Merge says, marry, fuck, kill. Crob, Roger, Kelly. Crob is the only one I know what he looks like at all. I've never watched the Nine Club, and that's not a knock on the Nine Club. I did a podcast of my own for 3 years, and I never listened to one episode. Like I don't watch, or I listen to Phil Hendry at night. I listen to Bill Handel in the mornings. I'm playing video games, and that's kind of it. Like that's the extent of my entertainment. I'm very simple. As long as I've got The Binding of Isaac on my Switch, Phil Hendry on my phone. So I guess I'd have to, since I only know what Crob looks like, I'd have to marry, fuck, and then kill Crob. Yikes. Oh, let's see your puppy. Angus, come here. Look right there. Who's that? Who is that? That's Slap. Yeah, Slap. We love Slap. So this is Angus. He's a sweetheart. Yeah, Angus is a good boy. He gets scared though, so if the wind chimes outside and start to ring, he might run off. Also, does your husband skate? Well, he skates like the butthole surfers surf. So he skates my butthole. No, Mike doesn't skate. Eagle Club, that's what's up. I haven't been to the one in my city. Do you go to yours often, or is that just for the trailer? Just for the trailer. I was so nervous being there. I never go out, man. I'm antisocial, like as all get out. And when we went to film that thing, my buddy who I was there filming with was just like, "You're not comfortable here, are you?" I was like, "No, I'm not. This place freaks me out." So I never go. I've been maybe 4 times in the 10 years that I lived here. But what's the wildest, craziest thing you've seen there? So I didn't see this, but I heard it. They had like a leather competition one year, and only one guy signed up to compete, so that they wouldn't only have one contestant. They put like a fern up as well. So they had like a dude and a plant running for like the Mr. Leather, and the dude won, but I bet it was a pretty close call. So I thought that was pretty hilarious. How long have you been skating? Best trick? I've been skating since I was probably 6 or 7. I'm 44 now, so a long time. But there have been long periods of non-skating in all of those years. I skated a ton as a kid, up through my teenage years, and then some dramatic shit happened, and I kind of ran away from the skating. Best trick? During the pressure flip era, I landed a lot of tricks. And I had pressure flips like every which way. Like I could do like switch front side 180 pressure flips, like nollie backside 180 pressure flips, like front side and back side, whatever. And I feel like that was the only era of skating basically where you'd like be in a parking garage going 2 miles an hour and just like pressure flipping over and over. That was the era that I was halfway decent at skateboarding. That says a lot about my skill. But I'd say the best trick, I remember I was really stoked. I landed a half flip Casper during that era, and it was an ugly trick. I think Ed Templeton did one in one of the New Deal videos, and I was really stoked on that. I was proud of that. Also, I did like some big ollies, like a 6 set with a trash can at the bottom. I remember clearing the trash can and being really excited about that, but then I got older and fear took over, and forget it. Do you feel like the abundance of parks popping up is taking away from the true from true street skating, or only showing the new people to skating only the clean park side of it. Sometimes it feels like without sketchy street stuff, people are robbed of some experience. That's an interesting question. I don't really have an opinion on it. I know that I wish parks had been around when I grew up in Albuquerque, because it would have been nice to have some smooth ground to roll around on with some obstacles, and I feel like it would have been great. I didn't grow up around any parks, and so all the skating we did was street skating. That I think that pushes a person to be creative with their skating. But since I sucked at skating, there wasn't like I'm gonna do this and be creative with it. It was just like I'm gonna ollie up this curb and then I would fall, and then like that was it. So OG Puffy Tongue. Couple questions here. What was the thought process behind picking your username? I used to have a lot of problems with my gay side and my skate side. It's weird. Like there was some sort of like compartmentalization stuff going on there, and it seemed like anytime I'd get on a skateboard, I'd be ashamed of being gay, and anytime I'd be gay, which was like all the time, I'd be I was just ashamed of being a gay skater. I figured, well, this question isn't real specific, but I'm gonna get into it a little bit. I identified as a skater long before I identified as being gay. I mean, I was skating as a little kid, and then puberty hit, and late '80s, early '90s skate culture was not real gay friendly. Like, I know Dave Carney has said like, "Oh, gays were cool with me, man," but actually, Big Brother, which was like I fell in love with Big Brother, and it was kind of like the lifestyle that I aspired to, and it was where my sense of humor developed, was actually like pretty homophobic too. And I'd read that stuff, and it was kind of like I loved hip hop and rap too, and so anytime anytime a rapper that I liked would be like faggot this, or what fag or whatever, I would just kind of like disconnect that, and I'd be like, I still love this guy, and anyway, so when I came on Slap, I was like, I want to figure out how to bring these two parts together. Like I want to be able to be gay and a skater, and not keep those things like separated. So I was like, if I create a Slap identity and I name myself gay in all caps, like, then I'm not, I have an old pattern of like hiding it a little bit, so like I'd meet a new group of kids or whatever, I'd be out skating, and I don't feel like I was being phony entirely, but I would definitely be terrified that they would find out I was gay, so I would do what I could to avoid them finding that out. And I thought, if I name myself gay, then I can't, like, it's my name, like it's the first thing that someone would see about me on Slap, so I'm not going to be able to hide, and maybe I can figure out a way to bring these two parts of my personality together. And what's weird, as cheesy as this might sound, is like Slap did that for me. It's been amazing. Like that's why I love Slap, because I came on and I was afraid that I'd be rejected for being queer. The complete opposite happened. People would come at me once in a while with some like homophobic shit, and then other posters would just like come out and totally like get my back. It was the most awesome thing. That's why I love Slap to death, because I feel like a big chunk of my self-esteem, which was pretty shot, came from me learning how to bring those two parts of my personality together. So favorite Les Toro song. I'm gonna blow it here too, because I'm bad with song names, especially in this era of music subscriptions. Toro's new album, I'm so stoked on, and I cannot get. I think the first release on it is called Freelance. I can't get it out of my head. That song is incredible. So Les Sins stuff, I can't remember the names of songs. I bought the Les Sins albums, and then I've listened to several of his single releases. It's really good stuff. his early stuff was kind of loopy, trippy. Reminded me of early the stuff that Daft Punk released on their Roulette and Creedmoor albums, labels. Just kind of like they're doing whatever the fuck they wanted. They didn't really care how much it would sell. Also, what does it feel like to have achieved peak shalom? I don't understand shalom. You guys are gonna hate me for this. I don't get it, man. So if I've achieved peak shalom, it's totally by accident, and I'm kind of an imposter. As Slap's premiere poster, let the people know who you think is the wackest skater and why. On the opposite end, who's the coolest, best skater and why? Yikes. Wackest skater? I don't. Who's that? Isn't there some like Versace dude that is like a big like Instagram kid? That stuff is a little embarrassing to watch. You know, I mean, I think I don't have any names. I know this is gonna sound like I'm just trying to like weasel out of something, but that Vinny Bong guy is pretty hard to watch. Nigel's really his like career trajectory is you know what? It's very successful and good for him, but when he's posting shit like wild in the streets and he's like, woo, like going by cars and like making faces in their windows and shit, that's a little embarrassing. On the opposite end, who's the coolest, best skater and why? Austin Gillette, to me, is the coolest. He's incredible. I like his style. And Frankie Villani, I love him because he's someone that I would go to a park and see and judge. Never mind the fact that I can't fucking land anything. I'd see him and judge him, and then he would blow my expectations. And his skating is incredible. I feel like those two guys are the best right for me right now. I'll watch anything of theirs over and over. It's incredible. Oh, and I don't know if you guys peeped when he's trying a trick in that recent video that he came out with, and then like a drag queen like peeks over the edge of like a bank and looks at him and makes a face. That's me, just so you know. No, I'm kidding. Straight. Besides me, which slap poster gets your dick hard? I mean, there's a few slap posters that get my dick hard. Full Technical Skizzy, of course. Shit for Brains gets my dick hard, but I don't think he likes me. I feel like he ignores me. Like I'll ask a question and then I just get ghosted, and I'm just like, damn. And I know it's because he thinks I'm an idiot, which is not wrong. And he's like this super smart, like just brainy guy. So Shit for Brains, you get my dick hard, but you'll never know. Why did Tracer have it out for you? I don't know. That was kind of a weird one, but I ended up actually liking Tracer. He challenged me to a heel flip, and I was like, I'm not gonna let some faceless, angry guy gatekeep whether I'm allowed to be on slap or not. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna go out and learn fucking heel flips for some dude on slap who's like, do a heel flip, bro. Like that I just found that so weird, and people kept saying like, do it, man, you could do it, and I was just like, no, I'm not gonna learn a trick for Tracer. So, but it's funny, people miss him. Like, he was a good troll. He was a good troll on slap. Why are your go-to tricks so gay? Hello. If you see me skating, I resemble that guy that like is in that roller skating rink and just like swirling around and like doing like hang tens with his arms out. Like, that's me, dude, everywhere. I'll go down the street and I'm just like my hands are like this constantly. So Adam Abbas, do you think slurs for gay people like faggot still have any place? He didn't type it out, by the way. Still have any place in the English lexicon? For example, in a play or movie where the character who says he slurs is the antagonist. Yes. I'm not a fan of the word. I think gay people are in some cases trying to appropriate the F word like black culture has the N word, but it's not really working. And I don't know. It's a pretty hateful word. It's an interesting word because it's the go-to for men to insult one another still, you know. So it's like, if you want to upset a woman, you call her a cunt. If you want to upset a man, you call him a faggot. You know, it's kind of like the go-to. Definitely has a place in the English lexicon. It's a powerful word. You know, I just it bums me out when it gets used at me. I remember the first time I got called a faggot like in a car. So, like I said, I was always really internally homophobic and scared of people finding out I was gay. I was afraid I'd get beat up if they found out or whatever. And I remember a long time ago, I lived in the Castro in San Francisco, which is like gay central. And my boyfriend would try to hold my hand, and I wouldn't do it. You know, he's like, dude, we're in the Castro. Like, you can hold my hand here. And I was just like, no, man, I can't do it. And then years later, when I was in a relationship, I was holding hands with somebody in WeHo, which is also pretty much gay central. And this car went by, and they were like, faggots. And it totally freaked me out. Like, I turned bright red, and he was like, is that the first time you've been called a faggot? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, oh my God. Like, he couldn't believe that I was gay and like in my mid-30s and had never been called a faggot before. You know, and I was just like, I don't know. Like, no one's ever figured out I'm gay. Definitely has a place in the English lexicon, and it's hurtful as fuck. Do you think BA has become the main spokesperson for LGBTQ plus people in skateboarding? And if so, do you think he's ready for that kind of role? I think it just kind of happened because he was a big name. He came out, and so of course, you know, gay culture is gonna be like, oh my God, we've got a guy over here, and he's a pro skater, and he's respected, and he's legendary, and whatever. I can't guess what's going on in his head, but what I'll say about me is when I came out, I kind of came like way out, you know. I was outed to my family, and I was thrown out of the house and out of the, basically, you know, excommunicated from the family. I was like, fuck it, I'm coming out then. If my family knows, everybody's gonna know. And I like kind of like came way out. Like, I was wearing T-shirts that said like "Sista" on them, and like freedom rings, which were like these necklaces with like little like rainbow rings on them, you know. And I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna be gay now. And then, so I did that for a little while, and it just didn't feel right. And I realized, like, this isn't who I am. And I've just wondered if BA has gone through or is going through something similar, where it's like, I'm going to be gay now, and like gay is my thing, and then you do it for a while because it's something you've been hiding for so long. So of course, like, now it's this prominent part of your personality, and then it's like, I don't know, like, gay's cool and all, but it's not what I am, you know. I'm a complex individual, and this gay part of it, albeit is a pretty important part, it's not everything. I don't know. I can't speak for BA. I'd hate to be someone who all of a sudden found myself being deemed the spokesperson for any community anywhere. Yikes. What annoys you about Gons? Fucking everything, man. I can't stand Gons. Oh, I feel terrible saying that. I might be crucified for that. I mean, he's such an incredible figure in skateboarding. Here's the thing. I love watching Gons skate. He's amazing. Groundbreaking. He's kind of like the godfather of all of this shit, or one of them. But God, man, as soon as he opens his mouth, I'm just like, here comes wacky Mr. Jones, just like, woo! And I'm, you know, the irony being, like, that's all I do on Slap. All I do on Slap is come in and post stupid shit. So, you know, maybe I'm like jealous of Gons. Like, he's like me, but like with a successful skateboarding career, and like people are interested in what he has to say. I'm like this nobody who can barely stay on a skateboard, and I post on Slap. So maybe I'm just like a jealous bitch, and that's why I don't. So everything annoys me about Gons, and I think it's because he reminds me of me. Boat of Dunn says, any Indian Ditch, Joe Valdez, or other New Mexico skate memories or thoughts? A funny Indian Ditch story is, you know, we used to skate there all the time. I remember one day we were skating there. It's just little late 80s, early 90s kids. There were 6 of us always hanging out together. And this group of these like older skaters came down the ditch, you know, and we were just like, ha, fucking hippies, look at those old dudes, you know. We were just like, you know, we were just being like little fucking assholes about it. That memory like haunts me to this day. You know, now I'm like, oh my God, like I'm the old dude like cruising down the ditch. What's interesting is whenever I come upon a group of kids, for the most part, they're really sweet. Trust me though, I had some shit happen between then and now. I think like my karma is repaid. Were you into the Slap mag back in the day? Not at all. I never owned an issue of Slap. I don't know why. It was one of those things that just flew under my radar. I don't know if it has to do with the fact that like in '92 I kind of like ran away from skating because I was so freaked out about being gay and outed and all that stuff. So I'm wondering if that was kind of part of it. Like I left skating and then I missed slap basically through all of its most of its print years. I knew of slap. I just know that it was a good thing. Twist. Can and will you do a kickflip? I can. It's rare. I will do one someday. I'm not going to promise video of it because I don't. But you know what? Yes. And they suck. It's weird. I was better at switch flips than I was at regular kick flips. And I don't know if it's something about just the way I was able to stay on top of my board when I was doing it switch. I blow regular kick flips and they're mob as hell. Maybe that's another reason why I hate Gons, because he's like king mob kickflip, but he lands his. I might land a couple more before I die, but that's about it. Mexican Spaniard, hey Mexican Spaniard, says, what do you usually do on Saturdays? I get up, make coffee, the husband makes breakfast, because I can't cook for shit, and then we'll go exercise, and then I come home. If I'm having a perfect Saturday, I come home, nap, play video games, chill out, and then I'm in bed by like 8:30, 9 o'clock. Pretty low-key. Chris Gentrified. Did you ever hit a stop rock and fall into pussy? No. If only. I wonder if my whole life would be different if I had fallen into pussy, especially at a young age. Who's your favorite female skater? I mean, Alyssa, for sure. I'm also kind of crazy about Lacey Baker. Do you low-key think you're more badass than new gays since you caught a hard time coming out? There might be a little bit of that going on, but I think it's so fucking cool that kids these days are, let's say that culture is a little more accepting of it. Do you like the B-52s? Yeah, of course. And would I ever gay off with the Bones Brigade? I would with Lance, but I think he's like born again. He's not down with that shit. So, Friendly Dave. Hey, Friendly Dave. Do you have a favorite skate memory? It's a new one, actually. Last summer, my old skate group got together. This was the second time we'd done this as grown-ups. So Kenny, Ben, Josh, Eric, and Todd, and myself. We were like the little like gang in Albuquerque. We got together and went on a road trip. We started in Denver and then drove down to Albuquerque and skated a bunch of places along the way, and it was awesome. So I tend to skate by myself. I'm a little antisocial and also just don't really have any skate friends, and so it made me realize, like, I love going out and skating. I try to get out a couple times a month, but this trip I was like, skateboarding is about the activity, but it's also about this bond that I've made with these guys that I love to death. They were my really good friends growing up. The six of us kind of like went skating all the time, and I love all of them to death. So I'd say that was my favorite, probably because it's the most fresh, and also because it revealed a few things to me about what skateboarding means to me. Where's the weirdest place you've ever slept? Good question. When I was kicked out of the house for a while, I've never thought of myself as homeless, but I guess I basically was, and I got into a relationship with this dude. I won't even go into that, but for a while we were living with this transgender hooker in Albuquerque named Val. Val's dead now, God rest her soul. And she basically, her place was kind of like this like wayward home for like homeless gay kids. And so my boyfriend at the time and I stayed there, and we slept underneath her dining room table, which was, it wasn't too bad. It was kind of cozy. We could like cuddle under there. But what was weird about it is I remember she'd be turning tricks, and like we'd be asleep and there'd be a knock at the door, and Val would like come out of her room and go, and like, you hear her walking by, and she'd answer the door, and it would be like her John, and she'd be like, okay, come on, shh, everybody's asleep, and they'd like walk through and then like shut the door and she'd be like turning tricks in the other room while I'm trying to sleep under the dining room table. I thought that was a pretty interesting place to sleep. Front side or back side? It's a bummer. This has changed over the years. It used to be, ollies used to be backside, board slides used to be front side. Now though, now that I'm old, it seems like all I can do is like frontside 180 ollies, backside board slides, which feel front side to me. I've always confused the shit out of board slides. Gonna say, hey, is this some kind of gay question? Front side or backside? I'm versatile. Both. All right, now I get it. You son of a bitch, Friendly Dave. What is your go-to meal to cook? I can't cook, so Lucky Charms. What is something you've done in the last year that you're proud of and want to brag about a little bit? I got married. That I think is the thing I'm most proud of, with the dude that you guys saw earlier, Big Mike. He's fucking awesome. That's the thing that I'm by far the most proud of. He's a catch. He's really good to me. Yeah, I'll brag about that a little bit. Like, I feel like, yeah, I'm stoked on being married to Big Mike. Newsflash, I just heard Cuban Links won the giveaway. Congrats, Cuban Links. I hope you have a size 10 foot. And if not, I hope you've got a nice little glass case you can put those pink ass shoes in. Trick flip. Who's the hottest slap pal? Huh? I'm like, him. I used to think that, I don't even know how to say it. Seamus McShamebag? Seamus McShamebag? I used to think he was hot, but that's because his avatar was like some like football player or something that kind of looked hot as a thumbnail. So I'd say him. I wish he'd come back. Have you ever skated with straight? No, I haven't. But that's not straight's fault. That's because I'm an antisocial hoe. Snowman 600. Current setup. I'm skating a less than local Wonder Years deck. And it's got trucks and wheels on it. The wheels are Spitfire, that much I know. The trucks are Indy. But I'm one of those stupid people that doesn't understand like 159 or 169. They could be like Indy 734s. I don't really know. I always ride big wheels because I'm old and fat, so I need as much help getting over pebbles as I possibly can. I used to ride soft wheels. Not anymore. I'm back to hard wheels so I can power slide and shit. But that's my current setup. This question's hilarious. What's the bust factor like on a glory hole compared to, say, a ledge spot? I'd say it's pretty high, man. I've caught some shit from glory holes that are like, I'd rather have like had a shinner than like syphilis. So yeah, the bust factor on a glory hole is fucking high, man. Plus it's like there could be anybody on the other side of that thing. It could be like my uncle, you know. That's definitely a bust. I know this hasn't happened to me, but well, that I know of, but a good buddy of mine, I remember, had some like glory hole hookup sex, and then like the dude that came out from behind the glory hole was this guy that just, oh my god, dude, anyway, it was someone that you would definitely not, even through a glory hole, ever want to put your dick in. So that was definitely a major bust, and I still bust him about it today. What's the longest slap hiatus you've taken? I don't think I've ever taken one on purpose, but I've taken them when like work gets really crazy busy, or I've lost a job and I haven't been at work. But I like going on slap. I like poking around and seeing what people are talking about, and of course, just posting stupid shit to clear my brain and go back to my life. No nickname. Favorite Erasure song? Always is a great one with an amazing video. Agreed. Along that vein, what is some music that people should listen to just to get them happy? Mobb Deep will definitely get you in a happy mood. So a favorite Erasure song? Woo, there's a lot of them. Always is a good one. Ola Moore? There was an old like Erasure ballad on one of their early albums it's like, Where Were You When I Needed You Most, or something like that. I loved that song because I could like play it on the piano and sing along with it. And I mean, Erasure is awesome. So I was so stoked when Uyghur skated to Erasure. I just thought that was so cool. That's some happy music. When I want to get happy, it seems like when I'm in the mood to get happy, I listen to house and not the dark shit. And then when I'm like feeling kind of like aggressive or whatever, I listen to hip hop. What influences your decision to switch your avatar? I'm new here and I think I've seen 3 different ones already. All right, Cherry. How long can you hold a manual? Not very long. I suck at manuals. I'm not very gifted at skateboarding, so Yeah, manuals are a struggle for me, and nose manuals, forget it. I've been trying to learn nose manuals lately, and I can get them like one block of concrete on a sidewalk, you know, like from crack to crack. So, but I suck at manuals. I broke my wrist doing a manual. So, here, I'll show you guys the scar. It's a fucking gnarly scar there. I've had surgery on that shit twice. I was skating with a backpack on and tried to do a manual, ollied up a curb and did a manual, and I fell. So the biggest skateboarding injury I've got is due to a manual. That's some sad shit right there. Turdy Bird, do you comb your mustache after every meal, or do you just save it for later? I mean, it's not like I'm like pushing food into my mustache and just filling it with shit. But I do comb it. I keep a comb in the car. I keep a comb at my desk at work. It's weird. I saw this dude one day that was just like, he had this big mustache and he was like combing it. And for some reason I thought that was like something to aspire to. So now I got combs and now I comb that shit. And but I've never had like a chunk of like tuna casserole like fall out of my mustache. Like it's always it's pretty, I'm uptight about that shit. So as I'm eating, I keep a napkin and wipe it. I try to keep that shit clean, man. I don't want them nasty food particles rolling around. After sex, however, I let it simmer. Crailfish to revert. What's the coolest thing about Doug Pineapple Saladino? Man, I don't know. I don't know the guy. I guess his nickname is the coolest thing. I've just always thought it's the silliest nickname of that early era of everybody having nicknames. I think Cookie Head is a pretty silly one too, but for some reason Pineapple just seems the most like innocuous and just kind of like pineapple. My name is not Jeff. How high can you ollie? Not very high. I can ollie up a curb still though. What's your team handsome? This is a good question. BA was on Team Handsome long before I knew he was gay, because he's a fucking stud. Beeble, because he's like this muscle bro, right? I've seen him in person. Yeah, like Beeble could bring it. Salman Agha, he was like my crush when I was young. Like, I was so about him. So those are my three: BA, Beeble, and Agha. On the opposite end, who's on your least attractive skater list? Oh man, any of the females. They're all like, so the same females I said that I love, definitely the least attractive to me because they have tits and a vagina. Not interested in that shit at all. Have you heard the most offensive thing at you on the internet or in person? No. What is it? the way you worded that is like, have you heard?
Did you hear?
Oh my God, did you hear the most offensive thing about you? No, my name is not Jeff. What is it? Like, what is this most offensive thing that I haven't heard? Oh, I just had it explained to me. Have you heard the most offensive thing? Oh, on the internet, of course. People don't say shit in person. Skaters don't say things in person. Gay men are fucking mean. And I've had some mean shit said to me from gay men. That was in person. But always on the internet, people are nasty. Francis Xavier, what's your monthly Fallas budget? Oh man, Fallas burned me recently. I bought 4 t-shirts there a couple of weeks ago. They look like great white t-shirts, and I was like, man, if these are good, I'll go buy like 30 of them. And I washed them, and they came, like, all of a sudden they came like, they were like half shirts. So I'm a little bummed on Fallas. I go in there every Wednesday just to like, because I'm over in that neighborhood and I've walked around. I have a little time to kill, but it's not much. The nice thing about Fallas is you don't need a big budget to come home with like a shit ton of clothes. That place is a trip. Are you a brunch person on Sundays? Hell no, that means leaving the house. I'm not about leaving the house. How many times a day do you laugh at your own posts? Every post. I'm that asshole that's like, so as many times a day that I post, that's how many times I laugh at my own stupid fucking posts. I know that makes me out to sound really sad, but Tuna, do you think Nino Brown actually dislikes you, or is it just a cute way of flirting with you? Nah, I feel like he actually dislikes me. I'm okay with that. Nino's like one of the old guard. Everybody needs a fucking grumpy grandpa, Nino's our grumpy grandpa. Parker, alright. Fucking Navy SEAL looking mustache. There's no question mark, but I'm gonna add one, so. Fucking Navy SEAL looking mustache? Yes. I love my mustache. It's all I got, man. I can't grow a beard, so. I'm gonna take that as a compliment because Navy SEALs are like fucking hot, dude. So, Victor Doom, what's your opinion on RuPaul's Drag Race? I love it. I love RuPaul's Drag Race. I think it's some of the best TV that exists. It's ridiculously gay. I mean, it's just like gay, gay, gay. Like it's more than all caps gay. It's just like super gay, but it's entertaining as fuck. And those dudes, you know, I've never done drag. It's not really my bag, but they're into it, and it's fun to watch people who are so passionate about something try so hard and fail. That's what's fun to watch, man. When these dudes are just like busting their ass, falling off that stage, like trying to lip sync to fucking some song, you know, it's amazing. I love it. Rick Kane, hey Rick, just so you know, I gnar you every day just to bum you out, but I like you a lot, so I also kind of mean those gnars half the time. Is Primo Desiderio, I think that's how it's spelled or said, the greatest skater of all time? No, but he's amazing. James Fardy, James Fardy. What trend do you want to see in the skate world? You know what? What I really want to see, and it's going to happen at some point. It's probably happening already. I'm not aware of it because no one's talking about it on Slap, and that's where I get all my information from. I can't wait until there's like a femme skater who like kicks ass, like some little like femme boy who's just awesome at skating, you know, and who's unashamedly queer, and not just queer but femme, you know. I don't know. I feel like it's not a trend I necessarily want to see, but I think I'm excited because it's going to happen at some point. I think it'll be fucking cool, you know. So, all right, Max Seferino asked a bunch of questions. Try to get through these. Do you enjoy doing the dishes? Yes, I do. I can't cook, so I do the dishes. Assuming that you have a gaydar, how many gay pro skaters, industry people that haven't come out can you count? I have no gaydar. My gaydar is horrible. I have to have my dick in someone's mouth before I believe that they're gay. Has being a skater helped you hook up in the past? Maybe. But I don't know. I don't know if anyone hooked up with me because they thought I was a skater. Has it been a turn off, a cock blocker? It definitely was a thing when I was young where people would be like, ew, like who's this kid with these like baggy purple jeans on? And like, you know, and like for a minute there I was trying to do my hair like Mike Carroll with like the crisscross braids and like the rubber bands in my hair, you know. So I don't think that helped me to get laid. What toothbrush hardness do you use? Soft. My gums are a mess, so I keep that shit soft. Do you think other gay dudes who don't skate would consider AO a gay culture vulture? Yeah, okay, so I don't find AO a gay culture vulture, you know. I feel like he's just into it. He has dug up some really cool, interesting references, and yeah, Paradise Garage, voguing shit. You know, he's got some like drag battle boards, or Vogue battle or whatever. You know, he's got some interesting stuff, and it doesn't bother me at all. I thought it was so fucking cool when he started doing all that stuff with Bianca Chandon, because I just thought like, this is something different. I don't give a shit if he's gay or not. You know, it's not ours. We don't get to keep it. I understand, however, that some people do think that, and they're entitled to that opinion too, you know. But I always thought it was cool as fuck. I just thought, this is different. Skateboarding has not seen this before, and I loved it. You know. And like I said, I don't give a shit if the person behind it is straight or gay or what. It felt respectful to me, and so I was down with it. Ever visit Mexico? Yes, but only the border towns, and I got the fuck out of there as fast as I could. What's your go-to gay porn site? I'm not like a big porn guy, so if I'm going to do porn, I'll look at XTube. That's kind of it. I'm not a big porn guy. Who is gay porn Sasha Grey? Who's your fave? There was this like ridiculous gay porn guy named Caliban Koo, so I make fun of him all the time because it's like that name is just ridiculous. Which cartoon character is your spirit animal? Bugs Bunny? He was a total queer. Last year's A Star is Born, yay or nay? I'm not feeling it, but I don't like going to movies, so that's why it's a nay. Which Slap poster makes you lol the most? Again, it's shit for brains and full technical skizzy. I love Feed Me Seymour. He posts some really great shit. Who do you miss from here? Seamus McShamebag, if that's how you say it, I miss him. Of course, Inbred Jed was amazing. He might be around. Rock Audio 420, incredible. Bad joke. Do you think Max Serafino asked too many questions? It was a lot. Shame on you, Max. Chris Gentrified. Do you find Lisa Lampanelli funny or offensive? I don't really know who she is. How about gay icon Kathy Griffin? I find her exhausting. Bautad, exhausting. Do you have any stories about Sean Mitchell, Joe Valdez, or Ray Chat? Oh my god. I knew Ray, but only like from a distance. I think we're talking about the same Ray, I hope. He was really fucking good, and he was really intimidating, and I didn't want to get teased to shit, so I stayed away from those guys. So really, no, I was not friendly. I don't have any stories about them except that they were kind of like this upper echelon of like Albuquerque skateboarding. Joe Valdez and Sean Mitchell, I don't know, but they could be after my time there. Because again, 92 was like when I got outed, kicked out of my house, and kind of like ran away from skateboarding. So my Albuquerque skateboarding history ends there. Who's your favorite gay author? Is Chuck Palahniuk gay? If so, him. Element for Life. What's the trick to napping? So when I take a nap, I lay down and I lay down with the intent of falling to sleep, and that helps. Like if I lay down and I'm like thinking about shit, I can't nap, but I lay down and I'm like, I want a nap. Next thing I know, I'm asleep, and then when I wake up, even if it's 20 minutes, 15 minutes later, I get up. Like I don't like force the nap. Full Technical Skizzy, my hero, asked me a question. Meanest time you've ever seen to users? I've seen some nasty shit on here. I don't know if this is actually like a question about rainbow equality. I think it is about rainbow equality, sort of like epic single post that made him legendary forever on Slap. I can't name the meanest. They've seen some mean shit on here. But what's interesting is like if people just roll with it, it's usually not that big of a deal. I did have somebody I was in an argument with years ago. This was probably 7 years ago. Someone asked me or said a really fucked up thing that I thought to me, and in retrospect, I felt like it was fucked up because it kind of was true. I remember I started some weird thread about like loving skateboarding but not being good at it, and my point was it's kind of like like there's people in music who love it but suck at it, and some of them become legendary in their own right, like Wesley Willis, but they're not good musicians, and I was pontificating on the idea of falling in love with something that you don't have the physical ability to do well. And this dude was basically like, well, you were out at the bathhouses like catching STDs. Some of us were in the parking lot like practicing our kickflips. So maybe if you had practiced your skating more rather than like, running around getting laid all the time, you'd be a little better at skating. And I have to admit, like, he kind of had a point. So I got good at getting laid and catching STDs. I did not get good at skating. So my STD count is like really great, and my ability to land tricks sucks. Anyway, I thought that was kind of a meanest thing. Double Steve Burger. Oh, here it is. Would you rather pee out a marble or poop out a softball? I'm not one of those guys that likes shoving rods into my dick. So I'd much rather poop out a softball. That feels like relatable to me. How would you compare the old Slap to its current state? I wouldn't compare it. Its Slap is kind of, it just does its own thing, and I've always enjoyed it. I don't have a in the good old days of Slap sort of a thing going on. Without sparing too many degrading details, what's one of the shadiest things you did when you were living out your speed days? Ooh, shadiest things? And who among the former Addict pros would you think would have been the most fun to spend a week-long, all-night bender with? All right, the first part of that question, I don't think this is shady, but it definitely annoyed my roommates. So I used to spend days and days up on meth and just a total mess. And I remember one night I thought it would be funny, like I think many of my posts will be funny on Slap. I thought it would be funny to like take a Sharpie and like draw pentagrams and like 666 all over the coffee machine, because I was like, the idea of like a satanic coffee maker, that's just hilarious. So like as my roommates were sleeping, I like drew like a pentagram and 666 and like Hail Satan like all over the coffee machine. You know, I just thought it was fucking hilarious, which it wasn't. And then the next day they woke up and my roommate was like, dude, come on. Like, anyway, so I thought that was pretty lame. And then former addict pros, who would you think would have been the most fun? Jesus, I think Bulala would have been a really interesting person to spend an all-night bender with. I don't know how that would have turned out, but it would have been interesting because that guy's got to have 1,000,001 stories. Aw, and P.S. you and your husband look great together. Thanks, Double Steve Burger. That's sweet of you. Rick Kane. I have a hemorrhoid, and I've just accepted it as a permanent part of me. I was thinking that if I was gay, it would be a problem, though. Hello. Do you ever get them, and if so, how does it affect your life? Well, everyone has hemorrhoids, so yes, I get them because we all have them. The problem is an inflamed hemorrhoid, and I have not had those yet. I'm sure I'll get them because it seems like a common, like, growing old sort of a thing. And how does it affect your sex life? Well, yeah, I'm not going to be, like, getting screwed with some inflamed, like, burning thing on my asshole. So get it looked at, brother. If it's inflamed. Soft boiled. Best hidden gem in Albuquerque. I used to get laid at this little, like, cruise area up in the mountains called the Rock House. And it's like this public park at the base, like down by the like where the tram comes down, and it was just this like house of rocks, and you could go out there and like get a BJ, dude, like in the middle of the day, whatever. I think to me that's the best hidden gem. You'd see some weird shit up there. So if I could spend the night with one man, it would be Conor McGregor with a ball gag in his mouth. And then if you had to spend the night with one woman, Lacey Baker? I don't know. I mean, spending the night like we're hanging out and like doing each other's hair? Yeah, then like Alyssa Steamer or Lacey Baker because I think they're awesome. But like having sex with them? Yeah, man, I didn't know woman I want to have sex with. Alain Jambon? Favorite slap avatars? Any of the ones that have like a muscular dude in them, I always like light up. Furthest you've gone with a girl? I kissed a girl in 8th grade. And it was horrible. I mean, it was just like, we kissed in the dugout. Her name was Erica. She was like hot. I remember I was all shook up about it. And then after it was done, I was like, I feel like I'm supposed to like that. And it was really upsetting. So that's the furthest. Never went back. Ever witness unexplainable phenomenon? No. I mean, I'd say getting off of crystal is probably the biggest unexplained phenomenon I've ever experienced in my life. All right, hate. Hate, I love you, hate. Tell me a story about a celeb encounter you've had. I used to go to school with Neil Patrick Harris. We were in the same high school together. So, like, he was fucking cool. He was smart. He was already doing the Doogie Howser thing, so he was picked on by kids at La Cueva High School. La Cueva is, you'll see footage from Albuquerque where there's these, like, banks to these, like, red bars. These, like, steep banks to these, like, big, thick red bars that have been kind of popular lately. Anyway, that's La Cueva. Neil went there. He was a year older than me, and he was cool as fuck. One day I was out skating with my buddies, and he like pulled over and said hello, and I was stoked. All right, how many skate graphic tattoos do you have? I have several. On my left leg, I'm doing all skate graphic stuff. So I've got Rob Roscop, and I've got Mike Wrigley. I've got the Jason Lee American Icons. I've got the Rodney Mullen like skating chess graphic, and then my favorite is the Jason Lee Foghorn Leghorn right here, and he's giving a thumbs up. No, I'm not going to show my dick, don't worry. So it's like, you know, anybody that's down there, they can look over and see. He's like, you're doing a great job. I'll show my Rodney Mullen one too, because I think it's pretty gnarly. Any graphics left to get? Yeah, I want to get the Ray Barbie like card guy down the back of my leg. What is the most scared you have ever been? When Mike says he's going to hit me. That's pretty scary. He's shaking his fist at me right now. No, the most scared I've ever been, I mean, it had to have been, you know, when I got thrown out of my house and I was basically homeless and I hadn't discovered pot or alcohol yet. I was a total disaster. I didn't know where I was going to go. And life fucking sucks. Have any actual phobias? I'm terrified of the water. I will not go into the ocean. There's creatures in there. They're just looking to destroy humanity. And yeah, water is a definite phobia. I won't go in lakes. Any water I can't see the bottom of because I feel like there could be a dead body floating down there. All right, Cuban Links, congrats on the win. What's your trick to keeping such regular BMs? Good question. I hit the psyllium every night. Every night. I was doing Metamucil for a while, but that shit's like loaded with sugar. So every night I do my fiber, keeps things regular. It's incredible. I suggest it to everybody. Sneaky Secrets. Actually, I love Sneaky Secrets. I think you're a great poster. I believe you said you grew up in Albuquerque. I lived there for about a year and thought it was great, but I noticed that the majority of people from Albuquerque seem to think it sucks. What's up with that? We think it sucks because it fucking sucks. Albuquerque sucks. Are you a red or a green chili guy? Green, it burns less on the way out. Ever hike around the Sandias? Definitely. In that cruise area I was talking about earlier, the Rock House, like that's at the base of the Sandias. Favorite Albuquerque skate spots? I know one of them is gone, the old downtown plaza. I think it's been like redesigned. El Dorado, UNM of course, downtown cruising around. UNM was kind of the spot though. I think that was my favorite, and El Dorado. Sandia, I couldn't manage most of that shit. And then just around the house because I was a kid. Jake 18, how did you and your man meet? P.S. He's a stud. Huh?
Is it really a question?
Yeah, it's really a question.
Are you going to tell the truth?
Yeah, of course. So Mike and I met at this sex club called Slammer. I went there on my 40th birthday, and he gave me like a 2-second BJ, and he was really good at what he was doing. And I was like, get off that thing, because I just paid money to get in here, and I don't want to like, I don't want to, like I want to get my money's worth out of this night. So I left. I left hooking up with Mike, and then I saw him on Scruff maybe a week later, and I was like, hey, I hope this isn't offensive, but do you ever go to a place called Slammer? And because some people will get all like, oh, I would never go to a place like that. Oh, you know, but Mike hit me back and he's like, oh, I frequent Slammer. So I was like, cool. I think we had like a 2-second hookup. I was want to hang out again. So anyway, that's how we met. And then we hung out a bunch and started realizing we liked each other. I even made a little, on our second anniversary, I made a throw pillow to commemorate meeting at Slammer. So anyway, that's the story. And he's a good dude. Crumbling infrastructure. What's your go-to skate shop? Now, Kingswell. It's run by a really good dude who's also from Albuquerque, DJ Chavez. And he's a wonderful person. He's always been sweet to me. That's where I go now. What hankies are you running these days? I'm starting to eye the red hanky, but that's like off in the future. Otherwise, it's whatever hankies represent, like vanilla, ass, gay sex. Those colors are the ones I run. How big are your hands? God, crumbling infrastructure. They're small. So, Fister's Delight. Chuck Ramone. What's your best skate trick? Now, the front side shove it, I think, was the one I was most excited about. What shoes do you skate? Are you core or corp or neither when it comes to this stuff? So I used to be core. Now I'm buying Adidas. I actually never liked Adidas before, and all of a sudden I really like the shit that they put out now. So yeah, I'm corp. I sold out. Do you post on any other message boards? No, but I post on I'll post on Hypebeast and other places. My name on there is Fastlane Stranger. I post stupid shit on there too. So, and it's Hypebeast. I mean, what the hell? Why is your username all caps? Because I figured, again, it was part of me like wanting to be like, I'm gay and I have to own this shit. So if all caps, gay, I can't hide anywhere behind that shit. What's your favorite alcoholic drink and snack food? I don't drink alcohol. I'm sober almost 16 years. So, but when I drank, Jägermeister. That's all I drank. And my favorite alcoholic snack food, just kidding. Ha ha ha. My favorite snack food. I mean, I eat chips a lot, especially like jalapeno chips. I think it's like Dave's Cascade is the brand that's my favorite. They're incredible. Paco Supreme. How many tries is enough? 2 times. I try a trick twice and then I give up. What's it like to be the internet's slap favorite son? I think it's fucking sweet that anyone would like anything I have to post anywhere. So what's it like? I think it's wonderful. Dirty Burger. I thought the part about the BA doc talking about how he was attracted to Bluto was kind of interesting. Can you recall any early childhood memories of being attracted to the same sex? Oh yeah, like I was attracted to dudes at my church. but I thought I just was like into them because they were these like godly men. So I thought I was just like respecting their faith. I thought that part of the doc was interesting as well. And one thing I also thought was interesting, and I've heard people give him some flack about, was how he said he wasn't interested in skaters, that he was interested in, in like the skater body type. And I've heard people say like, why would he even say that? That's creepy. But I totally got it when he said that. And I feel like part of, well, I can't speak for him, but I related to that in that the last thing that I wanted any of my skater buddies to feel was that I was some fucking like predatory queer dude who was going to try to like suck them off when they passed out drunk or something, like that wasn't what I was interested in with my gay skater friends. In fact, that was like anathema to me. So I remember having thoughts like that too, where it's like, I want my gay friends to know I'm not attracted to them because, again, this fear that they would see me as some sort of a threat. Skateboarding is a real, bro sort of a thing, and it's like dudes bonding with other dudes, and like most of the time it's no girls allowed. I think that's changing a little bit, but to find out that there's like a queer in your midst can ruin all of that. And I was really happy that my little group of pals have never made me feel that way. Mob or Jessup, whatever they send me for free, that's the shit that I put on my board. If you could market a skateboard gimmick, for example, Tail Devils, what would it be? Maybe like some sort of bearing thing that like shoots sparkles out the side of your skateboard as you're going down the street. I don't know. Weon's another poster that I love. 2 option questions: Volk or Cupsole? Cupsole. Narrow or wide deck? Wide deck. 99 or 101? 99. Mob or Jessup? Either. Do you do anything to stay in skating shape besides skateboarding? I exercise, but I'm kind of a fatty, so when I get out on a skateboard, I'm like breathless in like 3 pushes. How do you feel about tiny socks below the ankle plus low tops plus shorts? See, post the shoes you're wearing for reference. I don't really feel any which way. Sometimes it looks a little interesting. What do you like? Who do you like to tease the most in Slap? Anybody that just seems like they're getting some sort of a weird chip on their shoulder and getting all like pissy about shit. It can be fun to tease people like that. But I don't like giving people a hard time as just a course of action. It's also fun to fuck with the people who have like 3 posts and they just post some bizarre. Those people are the most fun to tease. Who's on your Slap ignore list? I don't know anymore. Nino's definitely there. I was actually thinking I'd have to like unignore some people, but nah, I didn't have to. I was kind of stoked on that. Which is more aesthetically appealing to you, circumcised or uncircumcised? Good question. I mean, they're both dicks. I'm down with either. There's no like, oh my god. I'm also not one of those people that will only seek out one or the other. Like, it's a dick. Impis? Would you or straight win in a game of skate? Straight would kill me in a game of skate. Period. Clintendo. Would you be down for a grip tape company that specifically only did grip tape with large photos of half-naked guys in various poses? No. I think grip tape with anything on it is so bizarre. I would never want to skate with some picture on the top of my board. I mean, we used to do like, art on the top of our boards, but even that, I'm a horrible artist, so I didn't really do that. No, I wouldn't want half-naked guys in various poses on the top of my boards. But it's been done with women, so there's a market there, Grizzly. Why don't you tap into it? If so, who would be your pick to see looking back at you every time you stepped onto a board? Mine would be this, and it's a picture of George Costanza. I mean, that'd be pretty good. Goldberg. Steve Goldberg. The one about, like, who's a man that you would spend one night with? Goldberg, the wrestler. And same answer for this grip tape shit. If I could step onto Goldberg every time I took off on my little skateboard adventure, that'd be great. Siota, S-I-O-T-A, asks, what was your favorite deck graphic of all time? Good question. I think my favorite of all time was this picture of this, like, drill. It's like a hand holding up a drill, and the drill's just like covered in blood, and there's like hair and shit on the drill, and then in the background is this weird like grandma wallpaper. And for whatever reason, I thought that graphic was so amazing and told such a weird story that really you were left to fill in all the blanks. That was my favorite. I also was crazy about the Sean Sheffy Jungle Book Slick graphic. That one I thought was pretty amazing too, and also I think got them a couple of cease and desists in the mail. So that was a good graphic. There's been a lot of good ones, but I think those two might be my favorite. Dream spot to skate? Whatever that like Chinese city is that's just like empty, I think that'd be amazing. It seems like it's just all amazing architecture and bust-free shit. So I think, but favorite dream spot, dream spot to skate that I could actually skate. You know, I'm not a fan of the barracks, but if I could break in there and skate by myself, without like screaming people chasing me around with a camera or whatever they do all the time, that'd be a blast. I mean, that would be fun, but it's the barracks, so it could be a bit of a nightmare. Brunette. Soda jerk. Hi, soda jerk. Do you think sexual preference can have effect on someone's skating style? Yes. If you're goofy, you're gay, and if you're regular, you're straight. Oddly, I'm regular-footed, but gay. No, I don't know, man. Sexual preference, I'd say, using BA as an example, I'd say it makes someone burly, but I ain't burly. So, what is your all-time favorite film, TV series? Well, let's see. I think Casino might be my favorite film. And my favorite TV series that I watched all the way through is probably The Wire. What's your go-to fast food option? Wendy's. I love Wendy's and anything with bacon on it. I don't eat it a lot, but it's my favorite. Tell us something we probably didn't know about the inner working of the LGBT community that might surprise us. Gay people are nasty to each other. That might be surprising, but it's a tough crowd, and they're catty. You know, this might sound a little bit bitter, but you know, when I was in rehab, it was a bunch of straight dudes and some gay dudes, and the gay dudes were by and far the most difficult to get along with. Cilantro. Does being gay somehow influence the growth of your mustache? Fuck yes, it does. I'm proud of my cock duster. What is your favorite kind of nut? Walnut? Before skating, do you like to fill up on a large or small meal or wait till after the session? I usually eat like a medium-sized meal, otherwise I start getting the shakes and run out of energy. Would you personally consider the BA Vice special inspirational? Yes, I would fucking consider that inspirational as hell. It was amazing. Spicy Boy, in your opinion, what is the worst trick in skateboarding? I'd say the manual, because it broke my hand and I had to have surgery on it twice. Silhouette. Oh, I forgot to mention Silhouette is one of the most amazing posters on here because he posts in like complete sentences. And it's amazing. He always posts some amazing stuff. What are the best kept secrets you would say most straight men aren't aware of when it comes to pleasuring their partner during intercourse? I have no idea. I've never had sex with a woman, so I can't give any advice on that front. And all I will say is that I'm glad I'm gay because dudes suck dick really well. And from what I've seen, women are just like, they totally blow it. That's it, y'all. That's all the questions. You guys rule. Thanks. I'm sorry I dragged on and on and on, but no one's ever given a shit about what I had to say before, so I think I got a little caught up in it. Amy, say goodbye.
Goodbye, Snap. Goodbye.
Hey man, you can't be in here. Get the fuck out of here.